Dave Roberts now available. First question's from Alanna Rizzo. Go ahead, Alanna.
Dave, how poetic that in his first at bat, Keibert Ruiz hits a home run, and then he goes into the dugout, and your veterans tell him that baseball is easy. How much fun was that whole sequence of emotions and events?
It was great. You just never know what's going to happen when a guy takes his first major league at bat, and just puts such a good swing on it. And the irony is that's something that the hitting guys and player development have really been working with Keibert on as far as backspinning the baseball to the pull side. And that's exactly what he did. So that's a memory that he and his family will have forever. And couldn't be more true with those words that the players said jokingly. And they also said it's downhill from here. So it was a lot of fun banter. But Keibert did a great job with Dustin today, the targeting, the pitch sequences. What a debut.
The familiarity obviously is a bonus with those two, but Dustin seemed to struggle a little bit more in terms of pacing, particularly when he had runners on base. Overall, what did you notice from him?
I thought everything was good. Just the sinker didn't have that life that it typically does, that finish at the end. And the cutter just backed up a lot, and it just really didn't have that bite like it typically does. But the changeup, which he introduced a little bit more today, played well for him. But you just can't say enough about Dustin's stuff and his compete.
Yeah, you guys went off again on the long ball today. How good was it to see that offense continue up and down your lineup, and you get the sweep as a result of it?
No, it was great. The long ball played big. Those extra, that 3-run homer from Corey was big, and to get Muncy to hit a ball to right center field, I think that was big. Obviously, took our walks, and the defense again. It just doesn't really tell the story in the box score, but the defense today came up big for us.
Finally, Rios hamstring. Does he have an update on that tight hamstring?
It's going to be day-to-day, and he said he didn't hurt it when he was running. It was more the slide. So we don't know if it's a cramp because of the slide or it's a slight kind of strain, but it feels better now. It's going to be more day-to-day.
Okay, thank you.
Next question is from Jack Harris. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, Dave, just how enjoyable are those moments when, you have a guy homer in his first at bat and just to see the joy in the dugout as he comes back and, some of the TV shots of the guys down in right field going after the ball?
It's playing big league baseball is a joy in itself, but when moments like that happen, it just takes everyone back to their first. We all had a debut and we all got our first hit and the position players, their first homer. So you remember that. And you remember what it meant to the player, to his family. And so it kind of just disconnects us from that moment as far as the game and puts all that attention on the player, which is always special.
And with Corey today, snapping out of that mini skid, was there something different he was doing? Was it just he needed to have a couple games to get his feet back under him after coming back?
No, I thought he was taking good swings. I thought he's seeing the baseball well. You look at the first couple of guys that we faced, I thought they pitched him well. But yeah, I think he's been good swings, and to get that first hit and to hit the homer was big. Really nice swing.
Thank you.
Yep.
Got a question from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, Dave, you had kind of called it yesterday that you thought Max was closer than maybe the numbers had appeared. What were you seeing from him leading up to this game?
I was seeing not the lower chase the last few days. I thought I've seen more aggressive and better swings. And when I see him kind of not hitting the ball and releasing the barrel and grounders to the pull side, I know he's on his way to getting out of something. So, he gets his direction through the big part of the field. He's as good as anybody in baseball. And
then on Dustin, you talked about him kind of introducing the changeup better this game. Is it important for him to kind of have these games where, when maybe the sinker isn't working the way that it's used to, that he kind of just gets used to having to work on these secondary pitches and be able to just kind of find a way to get through it? Absolutely. And when you're talking about a major league starter, you've got to have different weapons because not every start you're going to have your complete mix. So obviously the stuff that he has, but certainly not having the cut fastball that he usually does, to at least get the guys off that cutter with the changeup
certainly is a benefit.
Thank you.
Got a question from JP. Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, Dave, we've talked on and off here this week about sort of firing on all cylinders and you guys playing a complete game. And I'm just wondering if you think back to these last 5 wins in a row, seeing just the different guys who have contributed on the offense, seeing all your starters, all your relievers do something to help win. How encouraging has this little 5-game mini streak been?
It's been encouraging, and not only the wins that we've put together, it's how we've gone about it. And I just think that it just wasn't synced up initially in the season, which is understandable. But this last week, the way these, during this win streak, it just seems like collectively all 28 players are playing as one. And, when we do that, we can be pretty good.
Got time for one more. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, Dave, congratulations on the win. You talk about history. You talk about obviously celebrating today the 100th anniversary of the Negro Leagues around Major League Baseball. How important is to understand the history of what these players paved the way for players that are playing today in the game?
I think it's important, it's crucial, not only for Black players, for people that are from Latin America, from Asia, white Americans, it just doesn't matter. For Major League Baseball to acknowledge the 100th anniversary of Negro League Baseball, I think it's good. When you hear Campanella and Willie Mays and understand that certain guys that Josh Gibson, certain guys that also played in the big leagues, major leagues, that they might not have known started in the Negro Leagues. And this is our American history, and I think that education is great for everyone.